Good morning, everyone. Sorry, I'm late today because of too much water logging. Okay. So, I think you all must be preparing for your exams. Okay. So, today we have to proceed further with the chapter that is partnership. And in that, we have done about the meaning of partnership, and we have also done about the features of partnership. Now today we have to discuss about the next topic under this, that is formation of partnership firm, that is agreement between the partnership firm, and that is called as partnership deed. Partnership deed, that is the agreement I've already told you that the agreement between the partners can be written also and it can be oral also. The Partnership Act has not made it compulsory that it should be written or it should be oral. It can be written, it can be oral. Okay, but as I have told you that the partners, they prefer to have a written agreement so that they can avoid any kind of dispute, quarrel, and if it is there any kind of dispute, illegal practices by any of the partner, they can have a conclusive proof with which they can file a case in the court. So it is better to have a written agreement. Okay, so over here, if you see, there are certain key lines which you will have to underline, and if it will be asked, you can get a question like, what is partnership deed? So if it is asked like, what is partnership deed? So you will mention what are the things what you are going to mention in that. Okay. First of all, you can see a partnership can be formed by two or more than two persons. Already we have done. Law prescribes no mode of forming a partnership. Even the registration of partnership is not compulsory. Okay. Registration also, it is not compulsory. Partnership is formed through a contractual relationship between two or more persons. Contractual means as per the agreement, oral or written. Then this relationship is based on mutual trust and good faith. Already we have done in the features. Okay. The relationship between the two partners, okay, it should be on the basis of mutual trust and confidence. Okay. Then the agreement between the partners is to carry on a lawful business and to share the profits therefrom. In order to avoid dispute, the agreement should be in writing, though the law does not require the agreement to be in writing. In the absence of such an agreement, the rights and duties of the partners are determined by the Partnership Act 1932. Okay, so this I have already told you that the agreement between the partners it is not compulsory that it should be in writing only, but you have seen over here the same thing that is mentioned, that to avoid the dispute, if there is any dispute, any kind of illegal act by the partners, so they can simply go to the court with a conclusive proof if there will be a written agreement. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to file a case against any partner or against the firm, or means both each other cannot file a case. Okay, all the partners against any one partner against all the partners or firm. So all these things will be possible only if the firm will be registered and if there will be a written agreement. As it is also mentioned over here that the registration of partnership firm, that is also not compulsory, but you will find that there are certain consequences. After this we will do that only, that there are certain consequences which that the partnership firm will have to face if the firm is not registered. Okay, so we will see that what are the facilities which are available when the firm is registered, and what are the facilities which that will not be availed by the partnership firm business if they are not registered. So though the act has not made it compulsory, but still it is better if it is registered, and it is better if they are having a written agreement. Excuse me. Okay, so here that was stated. You can see over here one more thing is mentioned, that the agreement should be in writing, though the law does not require the agreement to be in writing. In the absence of such agreement, the rights and duties of the partners are determined by the Partnership Act 1932. Okay, so the act is there 1932, and if there is no written agreement, okay, so whatever the rights and duties of the partners, that will be stated by the Partnership Act 1930. Okay, there are provisions, rights and duties you have seen, though it is not directly there in the syllabus, but if you want, you can read all those rights and duties. What are the rights and duties of the partners? Okay, specifically it will not be asked. Now, what is a partnership deed? If this type of question is going to be asked, that what is a partnership deed? There are few lines that you will have to mention it over here. You can please underline those lines. It is a document containing the terms and conditions of a partnership. Please underline that. It is a document, partnership deed, that is a document which contains the terms and conditions of the partnership. It is an agreement. It is an agreement in writing, signed by the partners, duly stamped and registered. It is an agreement signed by the partners, duly stamped and registered. Okay. Then you will have to write, it defines the rights, duties and obligations of the partners and governs relationship among them in the conduct of business affairs of the firm. Okay. This much you will have to write. One more point you can write, it is not a public document. And one more line, the partnership deed must not contain any term which is contrary to the provisions of the Partnership Act. Anything which is against the Partnership Act, the provisions which are contained in the Partnership Act, it should not contain. So at least these things you will have to write. Okay. So these lines will be appropriate lines for defining what is partnership deed. So you have seen what are the things which are mentioned over here. That partnership deed, it is a document, okay, which contains the terms and conditions related to partnership between the partners. Okay. When partners join hands together, enter into an agreement that is called as partnership. Okay. Before that, they are partners. So it is a document which contains the terms and conditions related to the agreement or contract between the partners. Okay. Then it is an agreement in writing. Normally, it is an agreement in writing. Deed, if we are talking about, it is an agreement in writing. Okay, not oral. What is partnership deed? Partnership deed is an agreement in writing. If you will not write the word writing, please double underline that word writing, because if you will not write the word writing, then your marks will be deducted. Okay, so you will have to mention that it is an agreement in writing signed by all the partners, duly stamped and registered. Okay, stamped, it is stamped, okay, and registered, and on that all the partners, they put their signature. Okay, it means they are entering into a written agreement. This partnership deed is a conclusive proof that all these partners, they have joined hands together to carry on a lawful business which is based on utmost good faith and mutual trust. I hope it is clear to everybody. Okay. Then what does it define? It defines the rights, duties, obligations What are the rights of the partners? What are the duties of the partners? What are the obligations? Means the things which are compulsorily that has to be done, which is imperative to be done under the Partnership Act. And they should not go beyond that, like related to the number of members. Okay, it is written no, 250. As per company's account, it is 100. Okay, so the law states that all these things should be as per the rules and regulations which are mentioned in the different acts. According to those provisions, they cannot go against that. Okay, if anything that has to be, if the partnership, if the partnership that has to be dissolved, so it can be dissolved only by the consent of all the partners. There are certain rules related to the minor. I told you that minor is a partner, that he is responsible only for the profit, but he is not responsible for the losses. So these conditions, these are the obligations, means there are the certain things which are compulsorily that should be followed, okay, by the partnership firm. Okay, so this partnership deed states the duties, rights, as well as the obligations, means the things which are compulsorily that should be as per the law. Okay. So this is about and governs relationship among them in conduct of business affairs of the firm. Of course, it will govern the relationship because it is based on the written agreement. And if any problem arises with any of the partner, so a partner can file a case against on the basis of this partnership deed as a proof. He can file a case against any partner, against the firm, or the firm can file a case against any of the partner. So these conditions will be applicable only if there will be a partnership deed, that is the written agreement between the partners. So I hope this point is absolutely clear. At the last, again, the same thing is mentioned. You can see the written agreement is helpful in preventing and resolving disputes among the partners. The terms and conditions stated in partnership deed can be changed with the consent of all the partners. Whatever the agreement which is there between the partners, means the rights, duties which are there, the contents which are there in the partnership deed can be changed as per the consent, means approval of all the partners. There are certain things which can be changed, there are certain things which cannot be changed, okay, which is as per the law. Okay, now this is the meaning of partnership deed. Now you know what the students do. Suppose normally I have seen that if it is asked what is partnership deed, you know what students they used to do. Here if you see, there are 17 points given under that. Under the meaning of partnership deed, there are 17 points given. Can you see those 17 points? Normally when I used to ask what is partnership deed, the students they used to write 2-3 points out of this. That is not the answer. That is not the answer. Answer will be what I have told you to underline. Okay. It is a document containing the terms and conditions. Okay. Terms and conditions of the partnership. Okay. It is the written agreement between the partners showing the rights, duties, obligations of the partners. Okay. All these things that you have to write. You don't have to write all these contents. But if it is asked, give any 4 contents of partnership deed. Give any 5 contents of partnership deed. Okay. So in that condition, if it will be asked like this, that give any 4 or 5 content of partnership deed, then you will write these contents, name these contents. Okay. Otherwise, you don't have to name these contents in the meaning or definition. I think it is clear to everybody. Contents, for contents, another question will be asked. Okay. Now you can see, as I have told you, there are certain terms and conditions. Okay. All that is contained in the partnership deed. Now you will see that everything will be mentioned in the partnership deed. Names of the partners, okay, principal place of the partners, address of the partners, profit sharing ratio, okay, how much salary that will be given to the partners, how much commission that should be given to the partners. So all these things must be mentioned over here. You will see in line there are so many things, whatever that is according to the, it differs from, it can differ from uh, business to business. Okay, what type of business? So profit sharing ratio, rights and duties, all that will differ. Over here you can see the nature of the firm is what type of firm is there, what is the business of the firm. Is it manufacturing concern? Is it trading concern? Is it service providing concern? What is that? All that should be mentioned. The name of the firm's business. What is the name? What is the name? A company, B company, C company, or any other company. What is the name of that particular company? Okay. Then principal place of the business. Every business has got its registered office from where it is originated. So that principal place that has to be mentioned. Okay, the principal place of the registered office. Then duration of partnership, if any. There are certain duration also of the partnership form. Like there are certain project work which contractual, that is on contractual basis, like for 2 years, for 3 years, for 4 years, like that it is there. So in that condition, those 4 years, 5 years, that has to be mentioned over there. That is the duration of partnership. And you know, once it will be mentioned over there that this agreement between the partners, that is for 5 years. So you know, after 5 years, automatically it will come to an end. Okay, no need to do anything. Automatically the partnership firm that will come to an end. Okay, if the duration is mentioned. Is that clear? There are certain contractual based business, like all these contractors are there, no? There are certain projects, they take these projects to complete, like building of roads, bridges, buildings, flyovers, all these are there, no? So it is also based on partnership business. Okay, and normally they take the work and it takes near about 3 years, 4 years, 2 years, 1 year, it depends. And after that, automatically that comes to an end. Okay, so that duration that has to be mentioned. Then you can see the names and addresses of the partners, all the partners, names and addresses, amount of capital to be contributed by each partner. How much amount of capital that is going to be contributed by each partner. Okay, partner A, B, C, D, if 4 partners are there, how much they are going to contribute, all that will be mentioned. Amount which can be withdrawn by each partner. Okay, even the partners can withdraw the amount from the business, that is called as drawings. Okay, that is called as drawings. When you will do the accounting part, you will study about what is drawings, what is interest on drawings, what is capital, what is interest on capital. All these things that will be required to make the entry or plot those things in the accounts when you will prepare capital account or profit loss appropriation account. Okay, the numerical part that you will study next. So all these, then profit sharing ratio, in which ratio the partners are going to share the profit. Okay, it can be equal also, it can be the capital ratio or any other ratio, whatever that can be prescribed as per the consent of all the partners. Sometimes it is as per the capital investment. Like if Mr. A has invested more capital, he'll get more share of profit. If Mr. B has invested less capital, so he will get less share of profit. So it is, sometimes it is as per the capital investment also. In many cases, it is in the equal ratio, okay, irrespective of the capital investment. So these things are mentioned. Then you can see rate of interest. As I have told you, interest on capital condition is also there. Interest on loan condition is also there. Interest on drawings also condition is there. So you can see over here it is mentioned rate of interest, if any, on capital and drawings. Okay. Then amount of salary or commission payable to partners. There is a salary also which is payable to the partners, as well as the commission that is also given to the partners. So all that has to be mentioned. Then allocation of work among the partners means what area the partners are going to look after. So allocation of work among the partners, all that has to be clearly mentioned in the deed. Then you can see the mode of valuation of goodwill. This also a part It is a numerical part that you will study in class 12. There is a chapter in accounting, valuation of goodwill. You know, even the goodwill can be valued in terms of money. Okay, normally it is called as goodwill, reputation, image. Okay, but even it can be valued in terms of money. Okay, and it is seen in the liabilities in the asset side of the balance sheet. It also appears in the asset side of the balance sheet. There are different types of goodwill treatment under admission, retirement, death, and dissolution. Okay, so when you will study at that time, that will be much clear to you. And valuation of goodwill, you have different methods like super profit method, capitalization method, weighted average profit method. These methods are adopted to find out the goodwill. Okay, so you please take it in your mind that valuation of goodwill is also there. Even the goodwill can be valued in terms of money. It can be calculated. Okay, and that has to be distributed or written in the, it will appear in the financial statement. Okay, so these things are there. Then if you see procedure for admission, retirement, and death, I've been taking this name, admission, retirement, death. Okay, so there are different goodwill treatments related to that. So over here, what will be the procedure when the new partner is going to be admitted, how much capital he's going to bring, how much goodwill, share of goodwill he's going to bring in form of cash, how that will be allocated, everything that has to be mentioned. There are certain terms and conditions related to that. Okay, at the time of admission also, retirement also, death, dissolution, everything that is has to be mentioned over there. Then procedure for maintaining accounts and getting them audited. You know, as registration is not compulsory, auditing of account books, that is also not compulsory. But once, if it is registered, if there is a written agreement, then it becomes compulsory to have the account books audited. Audited means investigation of the account books. And that is very, very necessary to avoid any type of illegal acts, okay, illegal practices by these business concerns. Okay, so all these business concerns, they must get their account books audited, means properly that should be investigated. And you know, the private firms, they get it audited by the chartered accountants. Okay, the chartered accountants. And in government firms, it is audited by Auditor and Controller General of India. Okay, so these are the private firms, so they are to be audited by the chartered accountants. So the chartered accountants, what they do, they just see the annual reports, check everything, that is trading, profit loss account, balance sheet, and all those analysis and interpretation part also, like tools which are used, fund flow, cash flow, ratio analysis, all that you will study. That is a numerical part, and all that you will study in class 12. So verifying, taking, reading all those financial statements, okay, investigating each and every data which is there in trading account, profit loss account, balance sheet, and then finally preparing a report, fair report, and they put a signature. It means the account books are audited, investigated, and it is a proof that the business is going smoothly and they are conducting a lawful business. Okay, so that is why it should be there. Procedure to be followed in the event of dissolution of the firm and settlement of accounts. We will do procedure to be followed at the time of dissolution. Dissolution means bringing the partnership firm to an end. Okay, partnership between the partners, that can come to an end very easily. Are you understanding? We will differentiate between these also. Partnership between the partners, that can come to an end very easily at the time of retirement, death, dissolution, all that comes to an end. Okay, admission, retirement, death, it automatically comes to an end. Partnership between the partners, but dissolution of partnership firm, bringing the firm to an end, there is a special procedure. Okay, so that has to be mentioned over there in the deed, and that has to be followed. I think it's clear. Then arbitration clause in case of dispute among the partners. If there is any dispute, arbitration clause, like if there is any dispute, straight away it's not to go to the court, but there are people, okay, those who are there to first try to resolve those disputes. Authorities, officials are there, and then if it is resolved at that time only, so there will be no need to go to the court. That is called as arbitration clause. Then loans and advances by the partners and rate of interest payable on them. Loans, advances, loan taken by the partner, okay, loan given by the partner, personal loans, then advances by the partners, taken by the partners, given by the partners, okay, and rate of interest payable on them. All these things are already mentioned. All these things, terms and conditions related to that, all these things are mentioned in the partnership deed. So you can see in all these 17 points, if you'll see all the terms and conditions which can arise, which can create a dispute, okay, among the partners, differences among the partners, all these things are specifically mentioned. It differs from, generally these points are there, okay, in the deed, generally these points are there. Whatever the business will be there, it will be out of these 17 points only, okay, and one or two points can be added according to the nature of business. What is the nature of business? There are certain things, no, like compulsory license, taken all those conditions that has to be mentioned. But here, according to the deed, normally the points are out of 1 to 17. So try to remember at least 5-6 points. You should remember at least 10. You should remember, so that if you forget any one point, like it can be asked, what are the last 5 points, or what are the first 5 points of the partnership deed? So like this also it can be asked. So try to remember these points. It's not very difficult that you cannot remember. Okay. So this was about the partnership deed. Now let us move towards this registration of partnership business. Okay. Registration of partnership business. Then after this, we will study about types of partnership and types of partners. So first of all, we will study about the procedure. Before this, it is written origin of PricewaterhouseCoopers. Is it there in your book? So can anyone read that? Shambhavi, can you read that? This origin of PricewaterhouseCoopers. Well, it is just for reading. Questions will not be asked. It's just an example. Shambhavi.
Miss, I have old book. I don't think so. In my it is there.
No, in old book it is there. I'm preferring this book only. Page number 92. It is origin of, just after that partnership deed. It is origin of PricewaterhouseCoopers. PricewaterhouseCoopers war created in 1998 by merging Pricewater. Ayushi, is it there in your Ayushi? Is it there in your book?
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Is
Yes,
it there in your book? Just come on, read that. Read that.
Origin of PricewaterhouseCoopers. PricewaterhouseCoopers were created in 1998 by merging Price.
It is was.
By merging Price.
It is was created. It is written war.
Was created in 1998 by merging Pricewaterhouse with Coopers and Lybrand. The firm is one of the world's.
You read it. Read it.
The firm is one of the world's top audit and consultancy firm. In 1850, Samuel Lowell Price set up his accounting business in London. In 1865, William H. Hollyland and Edwin Waterhouse joined him as partners.
Apple, this is about, so here it is about the, this is one of the example, okay, of partnership business. Then it is about Apple Computers began as partnership in 1976 by Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. HP was formed as a partnership between Bill Hewlett and Dave Packard in 1939. Then Google was formed in 1998 as a partnership by Laurie Page and Sergey Brin. So what are these? These are the examples given for the partnership business. Okay. So you can give some more examples. It's just for your knowledge. These things are not going to be asked that what are the examples of partnership business. It is just for your knowledge. Okay. Names of all these. Then let us move towards the registration of partnership. As I have told you that registration of partnership is not compulsory, but it is better that we should have the partnership firm registered. Under that, you will find that what are the consequences of non-registration, and you will find that what the business can face a problem if the firm is not registered. Okay. So absence of non-registration, in the absence of non-registration, what are the problems that the firm is going to face? That also we will do it. Now, let us do this procedure for registration today, and in the next class, we will discuss about the consequences of non-registration. Now you see over here, under this procedure for non-registration, before that, there are few points written over here. Like registration of a partnership firm is not compulsory under law. Already I have told you. The Partnership Act 1932 provides that if the partners so desire, they may register the firm with the registrar of the firms of the state in which the main office of the firm is situated. Okay. The firm may be registered at the time of its formation or at any time thereafter. Okay. So what are the conditions? That the law has not made it compulsory that the firm should be registered, but if the partners want certain privileges, okay, so they can get their firm registered. Okay. And how they will get it registered? In every state there are registrar office. Okay, there is a registrar office in every state. So in whatever state the head office of the business is there, okay, they can get it registered in that particular state under that registrar office. Okay, so they can get it registered. Now, one more thing which is mentioned over here, that registration, it is not compulsory that registration should be only at the time of formation. It can be at the time of formation also. And it can also be after some time of the formation. As the Act has not made it compulsory, any time when the partnership firm, when the partners, they feel that the firm should be registered, they are not able to avail those facilities which are there when the firm is registered. So anytime they can get it registered, because there are certain formalities which they have to perform for getting the firm registered. So maybe in the beginning, they may not be prepared for getting it registered. So the privilege is also available that after some time also they can get the firm registered and avail all those privileges and facilities. Now you can see what is the procedure for registration. Normally the forms will be there, applications will be there, all those deed, agreement, everything, that whatever the things which are mentioned, all those things must be there, and that has to be filed up with the registrar. So certain procedure is given, you can see. In order to get the partnership firm registered, an application in the prescribed form must be filed with the registrar of the firm. I told you, for any registration, an application form is there, and that must be filled up and filed with the registrar. Okay. Then application should come. Now, what that application form should contain? There is an application form, but what are the terms and conditions that should be there in that application form? And if these things will not be there, so the firm will not be registered. The registrar will not give that certificate of registration if he is not satisfied with all the terms and conditions. So that is why that application form must contain all those terms and conditions. Now, what should be there in that application form? You can see the name of the firm. That is absolutely clear. Name of the firm should be there. The principal place of the business of the firm, that is the registered place where the business, from where, that is the head office of the business. Then names of other places where firm carries on its business. Means what is the registered place, and there are certain other places also, no, branches of the partnership firm. So all those places that has to be mentioned in that. Then names in full and permanent address of the partners. The full name of the partners and their permanent address must be there in that application form. Then the date on which each partner joined the firm. What will be the date? What is the date on which all the partners joined the firm? Duration of partnership, if any. As I have told you, if there is any duration for 4 years, 5 years, it can be partnership firm, can be formed for certain duration. So if it is mentioned, that also should be mentioned. If it is there in the deed, that should be mentioned over there in the application form. Okay. So then after all these, mentioning all these points in the application form, that application form should be signed and verified by each and every partner. Because the partners must know that what are the things each and every partner must know, because they are equally responsible for all the profits and losses of the business. Okay, any mishappenings, if it is there in the business, they all will be responsible. And you know, there is an unlimited liability. Even their personal property can be taken. Okay, so in that condition, even if their personal property will be taken up, so they have to verify each and everything very much clearly. Okay, so this application form must be prepared and it must be read properly by all the partners, duly signed and verified by each partner, that all the partners agree to all these conditions. Then it is submitted to the registrar of the firms of the area in which the principal place of the business is situated or proposed to be situated. Okay, so wherever the place of the business is there, okay, like suppose we are having a business in Gorakhpur, this comes under the state UP, okay, Uttar Pradesh. So the registered office, it can be in Lucknow, previously it was in Kanpur, okay, so it can be registered over here. Okay, so this is about the principal place where the firm can be registered. A small amount of registration fee is also deposited along with the application. There is a small amount of registration fees also there, which is deposited by the partners, okay, to the registrar office. Then the application is submitted, to the registrar, is examined. When the application is submitted, the registrar is going to examine. Examine means he will scrutinize, read it carefully, each and every point. If the registrar is satisfied that everything is in order and all legal formalities have been observed, the registrar shall make an entry in the register of the firms. He will also issue a certificate of registration. Any change in the information submitted at the time of registration should be communicated to the registrar. Okay. Registration does not provide a legal entity to the partnership. This is very important. You please underline over there. Okay. Registration, the last line, please underline all of you. The registration does not provide a legal entity to the firm. So you have seen what is the procedure. First, the application is to be filled up, okay, and it has to be filed up to the registrar, okay, in the particular state where the principal place of the business is there, that is the head office of the businesses, okay. Then there are certain terms and conditions that should be mentioned in the application form. The name of the firm, the principal place of the firm, then the other places where firm carry on the business, the names and full address of the partners, the date on which each partner joined, if there is any duration of partnership, all those things must be mentioned. Then along this application, before filing it to the registrar, before giving this form to the registrar office, It should be duly read, properly read by all the partners. All the partners, they will verify and they will put their signature. Then it will be submitted to the registrar office. Then the registrar will verify it, and if he will find that everything is as per the law, they are following all the terms and conditions, all the paperwork is absolutely up to the mark, then he will register the name of the firm in his register and he will provide a certificate of registration to the partnership. Now, one more thing is mentioned, that any change in the information submitted at the time of registration should be communicated to the registrar. If there is any changes to be made or changes made, all those information must be given to the registrar. Okay. Then registration does not provide a legal entity. I have already told you to underline. Legal entity means separate legal entity, and you have seen that in the features of partnership firm, that it is stated that the partnership firm also as sole proprietorship does not have the separate legal entity. Okay, it depends, the survival of the partnership business, it depends on its members. It is not independent as the company form of organization, but from the accounting point of view, it has a separate legal entity, because if business and businessman will not be taken as separately, the true profit and loss cannot be obtained. So as per the accounting principle, there is one concept, business entity concept. It means the business and businessman, they are taken as different, and any amount, as you have seen, no drawings word came, no interest on drawings, means if the partners are withdrawing any amount from the partnership firm, from their business, that will be called as drawings, and the partners will have to pay the interest on drawings to the partnership firm. All this treatment will be done for the accounting purpose. Okay. For other purposes, business doesn't have their independent existence. So it should be very much clear in your mind. Okay. So this was all about the procedure of this partnership, how registration of partnership firm is done. Now in the next class, we will discuss about this consequences of non-registration. Okay. I hope up till here it is very much clear. You may get the question that what is the process of registration of partnership firm? So you will have to mention all these points. You can get this in 5 marks question. Okay. So I'm going to end up the class now. Okay. Anybody has to ask anything? Anybody? Are you all preparing all the other chapters? First 5 chapters? Shambhavi, are you preparing? Anshika, Nandini, Joy, are you all preparing? Okay, so keep on preparing. If you have any problem, you can raise hand. Okay. Thank you.